apologize for the delay due to technical reasons. I am Evangelos Goutos, representative of the Hellenic AG Germany. I mean to welcome you to today's event, the aim of which is to bring you up to date on our activities towards the utilization and putting to good value of Hellenic Greek real property. I will give the floor to Mr. Evangelos Goutos. He is chairman of the Municipal Council of the Demos of Argos and Mykine. The Municipality of Argos and Mykine.
Δεν πρέπει να ακούγεται. Καλησπέρα σας.
Good morning. Good afternoon. We are playing host to this event, and as such, we would like to welcome you all to this event. We are all awaiting with great interest the outcome of this meeting. We believe it is a very important initiative, the undertaking of which might definitely alleviate much of the burden currently on the shoulders of the Greek state and the financial impasse we are faced with today. Actually, we are under a difficult conjuncture. Therefore, Greece is called to do whatever it can to utilize whatever assets it has, but not arbitrarily, no, far from that, not accidentally, no. The way should be other than a simple alienation and devaluation of all these real property assets currently in possession. Rather, this should be done in a way such as to show social sensitivity, have a perspective, and indeed attain a maximum benefit in all aspects, so that such sacrifice, one of the many ahead of the Greek people, bear fruit. For the Greek people to be able to see that there is an outcome and indeed that the results to be re-upped are interesting. This is an initiative we salute. When Mr. Goutos first discussed this with us along with his collaborators, we were able to grasp from the onset that this is a totally novel approach. Something new in terms of efforts suggested. So it is a hopeful approach, quite ambitious, very optimistic, the onset of which was the project at the former Ellinikon airport in Athens, and definitely the benefit would have been much higher had all the solutions originally proposed been materialized. And much to our dismay, these solutions never materialized. But anyway, this is a very interesting approach, an approach I believe we should all encourage towards materialization. We are highly interested in that as a municipality for Argos, Mykine and Nafplion, all the more since there is property that might be put to value in this way and in this sense. Moreover, such an approach, I have to admit, is novel, innovative, within the context of the efforts underway in this country in its endeavor to go out of the crisis. So thank you very much, Mr. Gemos, for this initiative. Thank you. Now the floor goes to Mr. Nestoras Balaskas. He is our financial consultant. First of all, let me welcome you. The Hellenic Development Beteiligungs AG was established as a Greek law SA company with partners registered in Düsseldorf, Germany. Let me discuss the structure of this company. On the basis of the German legislation governing an SA company, HDP comprises two organs, the Board of Directors and a tripartite Board of Auditors that may even agree on the increase of the number to 7. 100% of the shares is held by Mr. Goutos. The custodian bank is Commerzbank in Germany, and the legal consultancy pertains a very serious legal office, Schürrle and Partners in Düsseldorf. Auditors and administrative controllers of the company see to the equitable distribution of the shares amongst the shareholders. The nominal value should be determined by PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the leading names in the world. As for the potential investors, they may participate either through preferential shares to be issued at specific points in time, and the same goes for the entire activity. As for the price established is €8 per share. Goutos SA, in relevant agreement and resolution by the board of directors, will be ceding the rights to HDB, and those Greeks wishing to purchase shares may do so only through internet, unfortunately, in Greece. Maybe later on there may be a branch office in Greece and things may change in that sense. The purpose of HTP is for strategic partnerships to be stricken with institutional investors and collaboration with international investors. Interestingly, 60 million euro of investment capital is at stake, and I think this is something we should retain. Thank you. The floor goes to Mr. Sarandis Niadis. He is a technical consultant and advisor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On my part, the purpose of today's presentation is on the part of the technical advisors of Hellenic Development Beteiligung AG to bring you up to date on the financial and technical data of the proposal for the utilization and valorization of the residential park Ellinon Politia on the premises of the former airport of Athens, Ellinikon. Moreover, I would like to tell you that this proposal maximizes the value of the investment, both in terms of the profitability for investors and in terms of the expected benefit for the Greek state, and this is very interesting for the government as well. Let us see what are the specific factors upon which we have been relying for our proposal. The first such factor being that our proposal relies on the idea of a thematic park. A small city within the city web of today's Athens, Thebes, Corinth, Sparta, Argos, the islands of Kos, and the island of Delos. The Metropolitan Residential Park Ellinon Politia is not any park with a conventional structure like residencies and malls and hotels and marinas and other activities usually met with such kind of real estate investments. Rather, this is a small city with clear reference to Greek history, a project that might bring Athens and Greece as a whole in the very epicenter of the world's interest, because apart from the architectural and cultural value of this project, this might bring super additional value and bringing Greece to the avant-garde of architectural projects. This may be a very important motor towards a reactivation of this country and exit from the crisis. The very announcement of this venture, which is unique in world history, will show how Greece is indeed in a position to regain its role of being the birth of high values. In promoting the development of a thematic park of ancient Greek character within this area, we cast the foundation for the projection of the Greek mentality of diversion and education, which is universal and which is something everybody knows on this planet, irrespective of political regimes and the situations. The epicenter of the ancient culture was the human being. This brought the culture and civilization to unprecedented levels. The resuscitation of these values within this park will mean a lot for the residents and for the visitors, because in a very interactive way those people will be able to participate and will gain new value. They will discover new value on aspects for ecological sensibilization and awareness, as well as through the development of green technology and the utilization of renewable sources of energy towards combating the dire effects of climatic change. Ancient Greece, we all know that, has been a symbol of philosophical research and education. The revival of an education center on the models of the ancient systems based on the infrastructure of a modern, multilingual school covering all disciplines will provide children in this settlement, but also to visitors, to cater to the fundamental needs in education on all levels. Within this thematic park, we propose be developed a series of premises to house administration, schools, ecological, agricultural, technology, open air and covered theaters, amongst others, sports facilities, the forum, the commerces, the mall and the open air market for the fruit and vegetables and other schools, Hippocratic School, etc. Ancient Greece has been the epicenter for many activities. For this reason, we propose the creation of an island, a model island named Delos on the coastline. This will host a financial center with the coexistence of major houses for Greek and world maritime finance and economy. This will definitely give new airs to the Greek financial life. The revival of the port will bring Greeks into contact with ancient activities for ship building and marine activities. No motor will be able to approach the coast, and everything will be done conventionally. Within the premises of the Hellenic Politia, there will be hosted a thematic park within which there will be developed a series of buildings. Moreover, there will be a financial and shipping center. This will be the port of ancient Corinth, and in the periphery of the settlement, there will be a zone of hotels called Xenios Zeus, with restaurants and catering services for the visitors and guests. Whatever infrastructure of modern kind will have no visual contact with the settlement. It will be just peripheral to maintain the character of the premises. Within the Politia, we have included ancient Athens and ancient Sparta. There we mean to have the residential model of our proposal. We need to have a revival today through the modern technology of the architectural aesthetics as they have been developed during the 5th century before Christ, the so-called golden era of Athens and Sparta, and the island of Delos, that was the heart of the financial system of the time. The projectors will be able to highlight other aspects and ideas, avoiding to create symbol models that only are used as attractions. A second factor we believe is a warrantor to the success of the venture is the very situation and location. To all those involved in real estate investment, the three factors for the success of any project of this kind is the location of the site, the location of the site, the location of the site. I cannot repeat it enough. Let us see why we believe that this location is one of the most valuable of the kind in the world. First of all, because it is in a particularly wide 6,000 strema area that is within Athens. The second is within very short distance from Acropolis, some minutes drive from Acropolis. Third, because it is coastal and there can be an access to the coastline if the avenue along the old tarmac is going underground. The mild development character of quarters like Ellinikon Fava allows for easy access through all land means available in Athens. The climate is unique in the world, very mild as well, and rather than a multitude of owners, which would be expected from a land like this, there's only one owner, the Greek state. Through legislative means and the executive intervention, there may be easily established all those circumstances allowing for top quality and very good performance of the investment. A third factor for the success of this venture is its energetic autonomy. The purpose of our company is that through studies and projects, all new means and novel approaches be utilized for the entire park to be energetically autonomous without any impact on the actual networks or the environment. So apart from historic and cultural reference of the project to ancient Greeks, will be utilizing all available scientific means, allowing us to associate the present with the past. Attaining energetic autonomy and ecological approach of a project of this scale automatically will bring Greece amongst the avant-garde of technology and will give enormous plus value to the entire project. A fourth factor for our success, we believe, is the reduced construction index. Under Law 4062, published in the Hellenic State Gazette by the Ministry of the Development and Ecology, there is a mixed construction factor of 0.50 that can come up to 0.60. On the basis of this legislative text, the maximum allowed construction is 3,700,000 square meters. Under the preliminary project study, 3,400,000 square meters will be built, some 10% less than the maximum allowed, which means a more mild form of development, and some more 400,000 square meters of area available for green spaces, hence a contribution to the environment and common use premises to the benefit of all. At this point, may I also mention that on the basis of the proposal of our company, out of the 6,000 or so stremas of the previous report, the construction will be on 2,500 stremas, whereas the remaining will be made available for green spaces, common use premises, and the thematic park. Our fifth factor for the success of our venture will be the minimization of the risk with respect to the overall budget of the investment. It has been mentioned already under the financial items, and on the basis of the country's financial conjuncture with respect to the cost of such projects, the budget of 13,200 million euro stemming out of the multiplication of the 3,400,000 square meters to be built by the price of 4,000 euros per square meter of construction, allows for a safety index that goes beyond any expense even not projected. No, so in that sense, such budget will be the maximum value one would expect this project to cost, and it's a commitment towards all potential investors, of course, as it has already been mentioned, through a system of very open and transparent procedures. Will try to suppress even further the budget in order to ensure and secure the promised profit. Another factor is the immediate payment towards the Greek state and the ascertainment of profitability to all investors. After the approval of the construction project for a public real property, SHADA in Greek, the acronym, the law allows for a specific procedure for the utilization of such property. So, subsequent to the approval of the terms and the conditions and the construction index we have mentioned, the Greek state will get out of the sales of all bonds from the transfer of this area for the construction of 3,000 and so and 950 stremas for the construction of green spaces and complementary uses. I repeat, the Hellenic state will be cashing 21.8 billion euro even before the project is on. So for 6,600 euro per square meter, which is twice the price of any other area of this kind in Greece. And of course, this will be a major relief for Greece given the overwhelming burden of 21.6 billion euro that will have to be paid to the public treasury before, I repeat, before the project is commenced. Having these secured, the 20,000 euro per square meter of constructed area have 22 billion euros of profit, 33% of the overall investment, which is much higher than the usual 8 or 12% of most real estate projects, and under the current circumstances, this is something not always attained. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we are convinced that because the architectural model we are proposing has no equal in the international market. The 20,000 euro price per square meter for the sales price is something quite acceptable, and our investment model, our operational model, is a guarantee for success. At this point, I would like also to stress that the amount of 13,200,000,000 euro, which is essentially the amount of the cost for the construction of the thematic park, is a huge amount that will be indeed financing the actual economy of Greece, will be generating jobs, and will be expected to help re-trigger our economy and recover. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Mr. Niadis. The floor now goes to Mrs. Christina Nelidis. She is the legal advisor of our venture. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The purpose of my presence here is to explain to you in simple words what the Treasury, the fund for the utilization of real property is, so as for you to be able to grasp the meaning of this project. This is a Greek law SA company. The sole shareholder is a Greek state. It operates under the private law and is governed by the private SA companies in Greece. The rights of the Hellenic state are exercised by the Minister of Finance exclusively. The purpose is to put to value real property belonging to the state, which is real property in any other right or entitlement stricto sensu and lato sensu, so that the product of such a utilization be used to finance the Greek state debt. Thank you, Mrs. Nelidis. And now, Mrs. Christina Nassis, financial advisor, will have the floor. Good afternoon. The only reason I'm intervening is for you to know that our company boasts of the presence of tax analysts, specialists, financial analysts, and legal analysts who are truly informed on the Greek laws and also on foreign laws, depending on where the investors come from to invest in Greece. For example, if a German investor or a French investor or a British investor are interested in investing in this company, there is possibility for the investment in accordance with the law of the state of origin, which creates more safety for the potential investor. There is no feeling of uncertainty. So all it takes is for a branch office to be established in Greece. All of our collaborators are familiarized with such aspects and in a position to inform both foreign investors wishing to invest and Greek investors wishing to invest either as private parties or legal entities. All of our collaborators are fully familiarized with both the Hellenic legislation and with foreign state legislation, depending on which state we're talking about. I repeat, this is a reason for extra safety, a feeling of safety for all potential investors, that we are able to provide the information required and the legal support and, of course, the tax consultancy required in such cases. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Nassis. And now the floor goes to Mr. Evangelos Goutos. He is chairman. And yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presence here. We appreciate your coming. Here, I would like to clarify something. There has been talk about a new fund established in Switzerland. That interview had been given to a local channel. The effort having been to avoid giving any political color to our intervention at the time. But it was Switzerland in the beginning, now it will be Germany. And the company was established in Germany because, as we had declared, I thought interview, there is no government of sorts here. When it comes to proposals that are met with deaf ears, what else can one do? Interestingly, Dr. Merkel responded to our invitation. There is even an email sent by the Chancellor's office, who responded as a company I don't see why we should be publicizing our response to Mrs. Merkel, but you can find the response through the Chancellor's secretary. So when, in response to such a proposal, we have a response by a foreign head of state, we have to respect it. Here in Greece, everybody is victim of everybody, and there is a dramatization of sorts. So, rather than seeing phantoms everywhere, we mean to show real facts. 16 million euro worth of projects are on the table, including, among others, depots area and other units I will be telling you about in Argolis. So our initiative to go abroad is explained by the fact that we need to do business with a government and a state abiding by law and governed by law. It is unheard of for me to be talking to an audience like you and hosting such events and no journalists from Athens come to cover the event. Well, in the meantime, the response we had in Germany gave us much hope. We'll be issuing shares at the value of €8 each. Again, we're opting for a difficult solution. We're not looking for an institutional investor who will be the big boss. Rather, we need to have a dispersion. We want to have dispersion of shares amongst as many Greek shareholders as possible, €8 worth of nominal value per share. We do not go against the company and we do not go against Taipev, as Mrs. Melidi said. By the way, we wish them the best of success because we know that things are being changing there, although they did not respond to our invitation to come here. Well, unfortunately, the Greeks do not respond kindly to such kind of invitations. The Germans, if they cannot show up, they at least have the delicacy of declining the offer. Here we are met with deaf ears. Whatever. In response to our invitations, we have had very encouraging messages from Europe. So it is our duty to secure things and have a proposal like this. The proposal for the purchase and the use of for an X time, for X period of time, we wanted to have a guarantee. So because there is an uncertainty as to whether we have a drachma or euro or anything as a monetary unit, we opted for Swiss francs. You can't expect an investor to trust a country that has no security. We have to assure our foreign investors that there is some kind of certainty. On the other hand, we do not want to keep the door open for any arbitrary requests. No, we won't be changing our registered seats forever. We mean to have money invested in Greece. Of course, if we ask someone to pay Swiss francs, someone will want to have Swiss francs in return. So sales will be effective in Swiss francs. The investors further ask for some social predictability, and this is something we ensure. If there is a dispersion interesting enough for many investors to participate in 100 nominal shares are held by me, this is a kind of guarantee. I think that's why we're having nominal shares. So in this way, we are ascertaining 3% of the turnover of the sales of the real property to be utilized like this will go to the benefit to the residents of these municipalities. The cost of the sales is €1,180,000,000. This should therefore be divided and distributed to the residents of the municipalities. So this will be a free participation in all municipalities involved. Unfortunately, the Greek state again played deaf when we proposed that. So this is why we announced that the our idea goes back to the Swiss franc, and because the fund for denationalization operates like this, I don't know whether the real value of these 70,000 real property assets are of the value they are announcing. It's impossible for one to evaluate all these assets within months. It's crazy. Those things are crazy. One could have to wait for generations before the evaluation is possible. Anyway, we still are responsible. Unless we undertake initiatives on our own, unless we become involved in our life, we may find ourselves without any profits at all. The value of hotels to be sold, the evaluation suggested, all these are unreal and not realistic. First of all, we are proposing for a new formula under which residents of the municipalities will be able to register themselves in a special bulletin using the site of the company, and each resident of the municipality will know that if the project goes ahead, each resident will be entitled to a specific amount of money, 3% on the turnover of the sales. Therefore, the foreign investor that will be coming and talk to us, because there is social predictability, there is calmness, and there will be benefit in the participation of the municipality, will know that there is some kind of stability. There is fiscal predictability as well. That's very important. Those who wish to invest in a country need that. And all we ask, this German law company suggests 20% plus another 10% for the municipality, and then we're looking for 78% for a project that is worth 1 billion euro of profit or so. This I am telling you being fully conscious of what is happening in Greece and worldwide. We have the globalstate24.com, our own site, featuring 2,000 and more professionals, set up in 17 languages and presented in 33 different countries. The law for governing the establishment of this private law company, providing for the evaluation of real property, is indeed something we should be retaining. What are the criteria for this evaluation? These could be bonds or anything, but if one wants to register a mortgage, one should need to have some value first, and this value is established either by financial houses or through a comprehensive scheme. For example, if an architect of international fame puts one signature underneath an evaluation, the evaluation goes up. You know, these are things I have been familiar with since a very young age. I believe that the prices suggested are ridiculous when it comes to the real property governed and managed by the Fund for the Utilization of Greek State Real Property. Hopefully, with the new management of this agency, we'll have a better collaboration. We know that this is the only way to go ahead. If they are truly caring for the public interest, they need to collaborate with us, rather than what happened before under the previous management. Unfortunately, despite our efforts, no communication. There have even been out of court summons and protestations, and again nothing. I have copies of that here. There must be a way to break through this vicious circle, and we'll be asking some €8 price of nominal value. This will ensure public participation. Unfortunately, this is the way it is. We had to go to Germany, there was no other way. And because in Germany there is still a kind of state that they organized, and because investors are still interested in investing, this will happen. We'll make it happen. You know, we are in a very favorable position because we are familiar both with the Greek reality and with the foreign conjunctures. This is why we believe we are scheduled to succeed. In closing, I would like to thank you all for your presence. If there are any questions, please feel free to use the microphone. Please use the microphone. There can be no translation unless I have the microphone. Please use the microphone. There can be no translation unless I have the microphone. Answer. Mr. Zohopoulos, that is your name. Back in October 2011, we had communicated to all municipalities and agencies. We had even placed phone calls back in October. Again, I say 2011. I have a list of addressees. It was back in October 2011 we had notified everybody, and we had communicated this to all. It might be crazy. We even sent faxes.
We're
trying to do business when there are ridiculous things happening around us. I don't want to go into details, but anyway, these things are simply not serious. We needed to have Mr. Paravias here, who is representing, supposedly, the owners of real property in Greece. These are very, very serious things. Let us set things clear out. Where do we belong? We know there will be a crash, but will this be a quick death or a swift or a slow death? Will you please ask the speaker to use the microphone? There can be no translation. The interpreter has no contact with the room. There is someone placing a question without the microphone. Answer. We remain open to whatever you wish to know. We personally, as a company, did everything we could. We had given an interview to a local channel. There has been a proposal for a real property belonging to the municipality of Argolis, and with a series of parallel projects. I have a branch office on Grigoriou Lambraki Street in Glyfada. We now ceded all our rights to the German company, but we're open. You can summon us. We're here for you. We are convinced 100% that at the moment you cannot expect an area like Ellinikon Airport to be of that value and then have a representative go out public and say something different. When there is an invitation to tender with 2 stages, you cannot have a minister back in 2012 to have a new regulatory decree for this project when everybody knows that Qatar is undertaking this project. Here we need to know that the law governing the fund does not give any right to the politician endorsing to deal with the foreign investors. It is a troika that has to know. There is no political stage on which negotiations can take place, so they ceded everything to a company. We, the Greeks, are the managers. We say 25 billion is the value, and the foreigners can say anything they care.
Έχω ακούσει καλά λόγια.
Ανήκω σε άλλη παράταξη από τη διοίκηση σήμερα του Δήμου Ελληνικού Αργυρούπολη. Είναι ο άνθρωπος που στηρίζεται από το λαό του και έχει μεγάλη αντίδραση εναντίον της αξιοποίησης.
There can be no translation of the question. There has been no microphone. Answer. A last thing before I close. The Greek state has, amongst other, decided on this project in a way either we do it ourselves or we go down the drain. This is something that the public has to know. There can be no way out. We need to have transparency and some kind of sincerity. If one attains such value for the real property in this area, the entire vault goes up. 20,000 euros is a high price. Any other question?
Είμαστε okay.
Fine. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.